Now my Hanamai, and welcome to Paradise Botany for some NZIHL action. And boy, do we have quite the game tonight between the SkyCity Stampede and the Botany Swarm, a top of the table clash. I'm Joel Renulab. Joining me is Bryce Rouse. Wow, what a game we have tonight.
Well, I've been looking forward to this for quite a long time now, ever since the Swarm went down there. They did lose both games. I know they want to get back and get a couple of dubs here this weekend, Doc.
Well, a win would be huge for either team, especially for that Swarm currently sitting on the top spot. If they can actually come away with a sweep, they all but assure themselves that coveted #1 position and that bye heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be huge for the Botany Swarm to get 2 wins here this weekend to solidify that final spot. And then maybe for Game 3 having to travel down to Queenstown, because we all know the Queenstown Stampede are probably the hardest team in the league to beat at home. So 2 big wins here for the Swarm, and they're in absolute pole position here, Doc.
But as we saw last time these two teams matched up, it was the Stampede who took control and are going to be looking to repeat that kind of success tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So they only just won the first game on the Friday night, and then I think they beat the Swarm quite convincingly the second game. So the game definitely got out of the Swarm's hands a bit, like just things weren't going right, and then they got a couple goals on them. It was hard to crawl back, but that team has definitely improved since then. And so the Stampede, they're always looking to improve. They are that team that is a finals playoff hockey team.
And you got to watch out for the Stampede with that offensive firepower. As we mentioned, there was that 8-0 victory last time these two teams matched up. And so expect to see some firepower here for the Stampede.
Yeah, definitely. They got their import, Brendan Walkham. He's been huge for them this year so far. But the Swarm, they do have Petis the Panic, the man, the myth, the legend for the Botany Swarm. So they're going to need him to produce a lot of points if they're going to get on top here, Doc.
Yeah, Peter Stepanek, over 3 points per game he is putting up in the NZIHL. So look for the Czech import to once again assert his presence on the ice.
Yes, he's normally playing alongside the other Czech, in Andre Kozak. So they've teamed up really well. They seem to be getting on quite well. I actually hung out with the majority of the Swarm boys last weekend at Kozak's house for a bit of a poker tournament, and yeah, you've never seen a more team so close together.
Wow, giving us all the inside details here, covertly undercover at the Kozak household. But look for number 12, Peter Stepanek, the big body lefty out there. He's going to be looking to do some damage. Another big body that some NZIHL fans are going to be welcome to see here is the first game of the year for one Matthew Schneider coming up from Queenstown.
Hey, that guy's been the talisman for about 4 or 5 years now. He's actually got his citizenship. He plays for the Ice Blacks as well, so that's pretty cool. But the guy is what, 6'6", 6'7", and he's got the reach of a giraffe's leg. You know, he is so tall and he's so good on the puck as well, and fast.
Yeah, those long legs and those long strides really put to good use, especially on this rink that's going to be a little bit bigger than some that you'll see in the NZIHL, particularly down in Queenstown or across town in Avondale. So a little bit of room for these highly talented SkyCity Stampede forwards to work.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredibly good game though. Both teams are going to want to come out firing, because whoever gets that first goal, they could absolutely set the tone for this game here tonight, straight off the bat.
Some more changes from that SkyCity lineup is we're going to see a new goaltender for them this year who has not played since 2018, and that is Daniel Lee.
Yeah, welcome back, Danny. Yeah, he's been so good for the Stampede in the past. You know, went with them in the finals. He's huge for them. He's a good goalie. Looks like we've got Canada in net for the Botany Swarm here tonight. So, and you know how hot that guy can be on his day.
Yes, there to flash the leather. Daniel Lee, of course, going to look to shake off some rust, get back to his previous form where he has skated with the Ice Blacks himself. So not a bad third option to have if you are a Stampede fan.
Definitely not. And Polozov's actually having a really decent season for the Swarm as well, and so is Ivan Dalmatau. I'm sure you might have seen that between the legs goal he got in Dunedin. That is history, but the kid can play, Doc.
So Dalmatal will be centering this first line with Stepanek and Polozov, and we are off underway here in Botany. And here's Rusky Jones trying to centering feed there for Schneider. May have passed up a shot opportunity.
Yeah, definitely need to get a shot off there.
But just like that, we are underway. Here's a funny hop off the bounce, dangerously into the slot, but Polozov able to get a stick on it and not much else. There's a centering attempt, hits a skate. Now Rusky Jones plays it safely back to Freer. And now Stepanek puts his body to use to regain control of the puck.
Does it again on Schneider as well.
Welcome back to the NZIHL, says Peter Stepanek to Matthew Schneider. And then Sandoy keeps it in at the line, wearing the captain C here. And there's a shot right on. Hopkinson trying to do some work with the rebound. Centering feed here. Finds McDonald, but his shot sails wide, and we get a whistle. It looks like the net is off its mooring.
Yeah, good early pressure here from the Swarm. The intent is there from the get-go. Getting a couple early looks in on goal. Evan Stepanek looking to throw his body weight around here tonight, and why not when you're that big and heavy?
So it'll be McIntosh to take the draw against Hopkinson. And it's won by the Swarm. Kozak with a quick shot, but that is actually deflected and just dribbles to the goaltender for a whistle.
Yeah, it was Jackson Fontaine trying to get a redirect on that. He's having a splendid season here for the Botany Swarm. Eventually he will find his way back playing for the Red Devils when he returns home.
So McDonald will play it down low. And now at the near wall, here's Lockie Freer, just takes a hack at it. But it's kept in by Thuler at the line. And now Janssen tries to play it down low. And it's Kozak. Centering feed here. He's trying to find Janssen, blindly missed everyone. And the Swarm will have to retreat from their own end. Here's a long pass towards Kazak. Just in front of him, but actually goes on net, so no icing here. And Burns will play it up the wall.
Yeah, great pass there from Burns.
And now to the far side. This is Walcom. Watch out for him, 96 in yellow. Plays it down low for McIntosh. Simon doing some work on him to knock him off the puck. Nice work there by the young defenseman. But the Stampede regained control. And now here's Walcom. One-timer there, actually turned into a pass. Right on, puck is still loose. Scary moment there for the Swarm as a misdirection puts it right on net. Now this shot is blocked and over the glass into the netting.
Yeah, good to see the Stampede there trying to get a little bit of momentum back from the early couple of shifts here as we see a stick just giving way at the point. Could have been dangerous if the Swarm got that, but lucky Fred sitting towards the back post getting a shot on.
Right place, right time for both Freers.
That's right.
But luckily for the Swarm, Canaday was there. So Luke Simon behind the goal. Outlets Pat towards Mawson. Ricochets off his stick. And the Swarm will start again from their own end. Sandoy up to McDonald. And finally out of the zone. So here's the defenseman Sandoy. The quick shift gets it over to Janssen. Now Mawson with a chance, right on, shot and a save there by Lee. And another opportunity is kicked away. So Daniel Lee forced to make a few saves early, showing he's still up to the challenge.
Both teams looking really good when they're in the attacking zone, cycling the puck around well and making sure they're maintaining that pressure on the defenseman.
So here's Mitchell Freer. Played up to ice to McDonald, the import. Now Polozov trying to catch Stampede on a change. And now it's Coyle with a shot right on, but a glove save made by Kennedy.
Well, pretty hot start from both teams. Just what we've wanted to see here early in this game. looks like these two teams will probably be making the finals. Don't hold me to that, but sure, this is definitely a sneak peek of what we're going to get.
Well, not if 3 other teams in the league have anything to say about it.
I'm sure they will, though.
So Burns wearing the full cage now with a great pinch to keep this in the line. And now on the attack here for the Stampede. Looking for Rusky Jones. He shoots, he scores! The Stampede strike first.
Yeah, great shot there from Rusky Jones, gone above the blocker of Matt Kennedy, making a 1-0 lead here for the Stampede. Just got it past Polozov as well, trying to put the block on.
Well, that's what the Stampede wanted to see, to get out early and put this swarm crowd kind of on their back heels a little bit. And that was a bit of a tough shot for a goaltender. Puck was on its edge, couldn't get a good read on it, and also might have been a partial screen from that defender in front. At the end of the day, though, it's a 1-goal lead here for the Stampede as Dalmatau gets a shot on goal, and once again, Lees gets a pad on it. Now Burns fighting to get it out. Instead of pops right in front. There's a shot from Kozak, goes wide. Rebound opportunity, but Lee has it.
Wow, I don't know how he's got it, Doc. Have to have a look at the replay here. It was like Kozak's shot just misses that left post. Looks like there's a bit of real estate open there on that goal as well.
Dalmatau tried to punch in the rebound, but Daniel Lee was there. So Swarm quick to get back on the offensive here. Jackson Fontaine, excuse me, with that backhander near the goal. Ivan Dalmatau will be wearing number 17. Jackson Fontaine will be wearing number 11.
Two very similar looking numbers when the arms are a bit creased.
Now up top here, Simon throws one right on, but Lee holds on with Hopkinson breathing down his neck.
So the Swarm looking to get a goal back here early in this opening 5 minutes of this game.
And here come the Stampede in the zone. 2-on-2 shot right on, steered away by Canada. And Kozak will collect. Turnover here to McIntosh in front, and he hits the iron.
Kozak lucky there, whiffed on the pass, and Seabass intercepting that. That should have been 2-0.
Great opportunity there for the Stampede. Now chance here for Kozak, but he is unable to get much on it, and Fontaine into the near corner. Tries to evade a hit from McIntosh. Now plays up towards Tuller, who's able to keep it in. And it goes right to Kozak. Kozak puts one through, and a glove save made by Lee.
Yeah, Kozak just showing a little bit of expression there.
And here's that turnover.
Yeah, so Kozak in the corner with that. Try to find a pass, but Seabass reading that so well, and he can't miss by any closer than that.
So puck control and possession definitely going to be a key theme this weekend. And here comes Skipper with a shot that's blocked by Tuller. Puck caroms towards Kennedy, but he sweeps it aside.
Hurley throwing a nice hit there on the corner on Mawson.
Now Mawson trying to get around Kemp, eventually does. Plays it up towards Janssen, but that's broken up nicely by True. Now here's Burns. He plays it up towards Skipper. Skipper tries to go off the wall, but Tuller's there, and he'll play it back towards Burns in the near corner. Cross-ice pass here finds Kemp. His line mates go for a change, so he'll just hold on. And it's played to the near side towards Pillage.
Swarm guys will get a change now as well.
So here's Rusky Jones, the goal scorer. Knocked off the puck by Polozov. And taken by Stepanek. Looking for Dalmatau. He's able to get a stick on it. Now to Polozov. Centering feed there off the side of the net. Finds Stepanek. He puts one towards, but it's right into Lee.
Yeah, good save there from Lee. He's starting to get his eye in. Swarm probably want to get one past him early, or he'll just continue to grow into this game.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking to get more opportunities for here, number 12, Stepanek. But you can see he just throws it right into the chest of Lee. And the Swarm again on the attack. Here's Simon at the line. Throws one towards the net. Rebound is still loose there. Lee made the first save, but was a little bit hesitant on that second one. Luckily, it came right back to him.
Yes, the Stepanek was first to jump on the rebound, but it was a little bit behind him, so he just tried to kick it and then get a stick to it, as you can't kick the puck in for a goal. But Danny Lee making another good save.
So Dalmaton on the draw, trying to go forward on Schneider. But instead it's taken out of the zone. Here's Ruski Jones. Cross ice towards Harrison McCogg.
He's a workhorse, is McCarg. Over the years, he just never gives up.
And here's Dalmatau up to Polozov. Try to give and go, but Schneider gets in the way. He was looking cross ice towards McCogg, but Stepanek was there instead. Now Sandoy will decide to skate it up himself. The captain will throw it in and then chase himself. It looks like this will be an icing, as he did not quite hit that center red line.
Yeah, fair enough. Good call. Even though the lines are very hard to see in Paradise Botany here lately, Joel. Looks like they probably need a good repaint, good lick of paint on them again.
I would tend to agree with that assessment. For all he knew, he could have been far past that red line, but I can't even see the face-off circles, to be honest.
Nope, they are non-existent.
But luckily, the referee does know where it is, so we will start to the left of Canada here with 12:38 remaining in the opening period.
Yeah, the head ref, Tyler Hazelmore, he knows where the lines are in his sleep.
And here's Sandoy. Going D to D towards McDonald. Finds Fontaine. Now he hits Hopkinson. Hopkinson trying to get around Coyles. Able to get a shot off, and Lee is forced to hold on.
Yeah, Hopkinson doing well to at least get something off there. He put it through the defenseman's legs. Not entirely cleanly, as he was trying to play the body. The defenseman was. And a good effort to get something on.
So the face-off will be to the right of Lee. And that's Lockie Freer trying to play it behind the net. And Coyle will push it forward. Now Coyle again, they'll try the other way. Lockie Freer with a huge golf swing, and that 9-iron's able to get it out.
Yeah, Walkham showing his skill there on the far corner, backhanding it while the puck was in midair.
And now played back towards McDonald. He's got Volcom on his back. Two imports here going at it. It's played over to Snowd. He rings it up the wall towards Kozak. And now pressure here from McIntosh. Turnover behind the net. Here's Volcom. Up towards Burns at the line. And now Volcom again. Volcom out in the slot, and he was looking blocker side but missed.
Yeah, not picked up by a Swarm defenseman there. Letting them walk right in a little bit.
And Volcom, not the guy you want to see right in the slot if you are a Swarm fan. But luckily, crises averted. Now Swarm on the attack. Here's Fontaine. Plays it up towards Simon. Simon puts one through. It actually hits the back of a player, as Josh Hurley took the brunt of that one. Now Hurley again.
And that wrist shot from the point was absolutely moving as well there from Simon.
Bit of a change here. Gets it to Skipper fresh out of the bench, and he'll throw it down. And Canada will leave it for Simon. Now Simon with some speed on the far side. Plays it up towards Mawson. Mawson with a little toe drag here gives him some space. Unable to get it through, though. And now here comes Schneider the other way. Schneider trying to go 1-on-3 around Sandoy, but Simon's there to cut him off. Nice play there to seal him away from the puck, and here come the Swarm. And now here's Marcus McDonald, in no relation to the import. And there's a shot save there by Canada. Sandoy collects the rebound. Plays it up the wall towards Mawson. Now Mawson able to get it to Dalmatow, and he's got some speed into the zone. Dalmatow going 1-on-2 here, but Freer's able to just poke it safely. Now here comes Stepanek. Stepanek trying to go far side, but he misses everything. And it's over to Polozov. His attempt looking for Dalmatow in front. Unable to connect. And now Dalmatow again. Plays it low towards Stepanek. Stepanek up top to Tuller. Tuller throws one in. Dalmatow gets a stick on it. Unable to direct it towards goal. Here's another attempt from McDonald. His shot sails wide, and some good sustained pressure here from the Swarm.
Yeah, this is what they've been pretty good at in a lot of recent games, gaining the zone and just holding the puck, putting pressure on the other team to try make a mistake.
And partial change here for the Stampede after a long shift from them in the defensive zone. And played into the zone again, and the Swarm themselves will get a change. So some fresh legs out there for both sides. And here's Walkham. Walkham will chip one into the zone with a streaking McIntosh, but Simon's able to seal that off. Plays it nicely off the wall to Hopkinson. And then some fresh room here for Sandoy as he looks up ice. Pass got through everyone, but a turnover goes right back to Fontaine. And now he'll play it up towards Kozak. Now Sandoy with a little room, puts a clapper right on. That deflects off McIntosh's stick, forcing Lee to make a nice save.
Yeah, not sure if it came off Seabass or Hopkinson there. Good hit there from Sandoy on Lockie Frere.
So Simon has it on the near wall. He'll play it off the wall, trying to find Fontaine. He lost a mitt in the process, so he'll just go right to the bench. Now played up. And that's True with it off the wall. He finds Kemp. Kemp gets it swatted away from him, and it's Janssen who collides with Walkham. Now Campbell plays that with the stick, but it goes right to Tuller. And here comes the Swarm, but Stampede have 3 men back. Great play there by Tuller, gets around 2 defenders and forces Lee to make a stick save.
That would have been one hell of a goal there, Doc, going through 2 defensemen there, as a defenseman as well himself, so really good to see from Stefan.
Another coast-to-coast action here as the import Solo was giving it a go, but Canada is forced to hold on.
Yeah, as we've seen all season long from Stefan Tuller, the Swiss native, gone past 1, through the legs of 2. Would have been a dandy of a goal if he had put that past Lee. But nonetheless, still a 1-0 game here.
1-0 game, and there's another shot and save by the superb Canada. With just 7 minutes remaining here in the opening frame. Now Schneider's knocked off the puck by Stepanek. Goes right to Dalmatow. Out of the near side as Freer was trying to put it out of the zone. Instead it goes right to Polozov, but Rusky Jones with a nice play to use that long stick to poke it away. Now Sandoy will put one towards the net, and that's deflected over the glass, so we will get a whistle and a face-off inside the Stampede zone.
Yeah, Ivan Dalmatow just before, absolutely hustling. That's what you expect for someone under the age of 20 years to be absolutely hustling the whole entire game there, Doc. No signs of getting tired ever.
We love to see that great development for some of these younger generation of ice hockey here in New Zealand, making their mark here in the league. So centering feed there by Hopkinson's pushed away, and it's Lockie Freer up the ice. Now here are the Stampede. Back door looking for McIntosh, but Tuller steps in front of that. Now Burns with a shot, forcing Canada to make a blocker save.
He got his hand up high there. That was probably going over the post, but likes to be more safe than sorry.
Kozak loses the wheels. And now played low and low towards Hopkinson. Here's Burns, pokes it away from him. And it's Lockie Freer trying to find Walkham. But instead it's McDonald who played around towards Tueller. Tueller unable to play it. It goes to Kemp. That's stolen from him by Marcus McDonald. Now he goes the other way. And here's Campbell. Brings it into the zone onside.
Good hit there on Campbell from Simon.
Great patience there by Sandoy to open up that passing lane. And here goes McDonald. McDonald with some speed finds a man. But a nice play there. Now a save from Lee, and that deflects over the glass. So some good action here from the Swarm. Couple shot attempts.
Yeah, the Swarm have probably been the more polished team so far. They are down by 1. The Queenstown, there we see a good hit there from Luke Simon on Campbell. But yeah, it's definitely an extremely even game here, Doc. Just what we wanted to see.
Shots currently are in favor of the Swarm, but the stat that matters the most, still in favor of the Stampede with that 1-goal lead. So Simon leaves it for Polozov, but he's cut off nicely by Solo. And now Schneider has possession. He'll play it over towards Freer. Tries to get up towards Rusky Jones. But instead it'll be McCog to chase. Sandoy's the first one there. And it's swiped out of the zone by Stepanek. True was there to step up, so he'll dump it in, forcing Simon to retreat behind his own goal. Now Simon just ahead of Polozov. And the Stampede will start from their end. There's Walkham. Finally a few sloppy passes. Simon just claps it into the zone, and the Swarm will actually get a change. So long pass here for Walkham. And McDonald putting some pressure on him and finally holds him up, allowing Tueller to come in and scoop up the puck. But a turnover here. McIntosh tries to get one towards the net, but Canada will just hold on with a little too much action in front of him.
Yeah, Seabass definitely not the guy you want to turn the puck over to in that high slot area. That guy is absolutely deadly from there normally, but just unable to corral that nicely on the stick, so wasn't really able to get anything off.
Yeah, nice play there by McIntosh, but swinging in his stick late was Kozak to avoid a scoring opportunity there for the Stampede. So face-off won by McIntosh. It's played to Burns. Just bounces over his stick, so he'll have to retreat to mid-ice. Now here's Lockie Freer. Throws that one into the bench. Actually looks like it hit Sandoy right in the melon, but he's a hockey player and he seems to be okay.
Yeah, helmets are very protective, Doc. They're pretty good these days too. Lots of new technology being installed into these things yearly.
Yeah, Sandoy just had to wipe the visor off a little bit from a little excess snow, and he's good to go. So face-off at neutral ice. It'll be Burns looking cross ice towards Walkham. Trying to get around McDonald and does get a step from a sharp angle here. Rebound dangerously in the crease. Trying to make something out of nothing there was Walkham.
Yeah, I think Walkham only just missed the spot there by a centimeter or two.
Trying to catch Canada leaning, but to Canada's credit, he was able to still get a piece of it. Now here's Walkham. He'll play it back towards Burns. Now right back to Walkham. Now here's True up the ice. Looking for McIntosh. He's unable to corral it. And Simon's forced to play to the near side towards Pillage. Now Pillage looking up ice. That was knocked out of the air by McIntosh, but not enough. And Mawson's able to play it into the zone. Here's Solo, chased by Mawson. Now over to Freer. Here comes Kemp up the ice, trying to get around Simon. But we have a delayed call here coming against the Swarm.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one on Simon there. It's going to be interference. You have to see the replay of how long Kemp actually had the puck off his stick before Simon actually tried to throw a hit.
Yeah, the referee or the linesman here explaining this interference call. Simon unhappy about it as he was just trying to step up at the line, but too much separation from the puck is what that linesman was saying.
Yeah, tough call there, tough call, but it was marginal, so can go either way.
So the referee makes his choice. And the linesman drops the puck, and we're underway. First power play here for the Stampede, and a potent unit at that. Kept in at the line, and it's over towards McIntosh. Now, up top towards Solo. He fakes the shot. Now McIntosh trying to find somewhere to go with it, and it's deflected right in the glove of Canada.
Yeah, not sure if he was looking for a pass or try to get a redirect there. As he had Lockie Frere down low. Yeah, he definitely was looking for Lockie Frere, but a little bit out of his reach.
So this is a tough unit. Up top we have Solo and Walkham that will be running this power play here. And here's Walkham. Walks in, throws it on, and a save made. Puck still loose, though, as Canada was forced to make a save. Now Solo one-timer through, but that hits the stick of Tueller. And he makes a nice job to keep that from harm's way.
Yeah, that was a good one-time shot from the point there from Solo.
Errant pass finally out of the zone, as this Stampede power play has great puck possession, opening up some opportunities here in the offensive zone. Now here's Lockie Frere. He's taken down by Tueller. No call here. And instead, we're getting a line change for that Swarm unit.
Yeah, definitely just lost his footing there. Definitely no trip, but 40 seconds remaining on the power play here.
So here's Solo. Played up towards McCog. McCog's into the zone. Plays it up top to Frere. Now back to McCog. He skates towards the center of the ice and then plays it down low to Kemp. Up top to McCog, but he can't control it. Now a chase for the puck with Dalmatow on his back. Plays it up to Sandoy, and with a little bit of pressure, the Swarm are able to clear the zone.
Yeah, good penalty kill here for the Swarm. Couple of dangerous look-ins, though, for the Stampede, especially that one time from the point. Probably needed to get a couple more shots off, though, but they did look pretty good.
That pass for Hurley was a bit too much, so it will be an icing on the Stampede with just 37 seconds remaining in the period.
Thoughts on the game so far, Doc? Pretty even.
Very evenly contested, although the Stampede have been able to create a few turnovers with those high chance opportunities, and of course putting one home.
That's right.
It's a game of centimeters.
You use the metric system these days?
When in Rome, literally. Not that we are, but they do use the metric system in Italy.
Oh, right. Learn something new every day. Swarm are definitely looking good when they've got puck on their stick inside that attacking zone, putting pressure on the Stampede. I'm sure they're definitely going to get a couple goals here tonight. It's just how many can they stop from the Stampede.
And here's Polozov looking for Tueller. Here's a one-timer there by Dalmatow, and he scores! And just like that, it's one apiece.
There we go, Doc. Swarm back in it with the man of the minute, Mr. Ivan Dalmatow. You see here one time, boom, above the blocker. Can't make it look more pretty than that.
What a finish there from the youngster Dalmatow to even things up, and a much-needed goal for the Swarm in the waning seconds of this period.
Yeah, definitely much needed. Swarm probably needed to be that next team to score, or Stampede were going to start gaining a little bit too much momentum.
So just like that, in a matter of seconds, in a game of centimeters, we are all tied up at the end of one. So what are your big takeaways from that period, Bryce?
I would say probably both teams need to be looking for those guys that are coming in late into the slot area. Like, especially the Swarm defensemen, there's a couple of Stampede players coming in unnoticed. They can be extremely dangerous. Down in their end, they probably need to look at getting up a little bit higher on the guys on the point and getting a block on the shots. But other than that, both teams are looking very good. They're looking very good. They're looking feisty. They're looking like they want to both win this game, you know?
Yeah, a lot to play for here in this game. The top position, top of the table, will very likely be decided by what happens this weekend. So plenty in front of us. Stay tuned for the second period coming up next. Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome back to NZIHL action. I'm Joel Rindelov. Joining me is Bryce Rouse. And what an open period we saw. 1 goal apiece between the Botany Swarm and the SkyCity Stampede. Bryce, tell me what happened.
Well, it was a well-deserved 1-1 draw at the moment for both teams. Both teams looking really sharp going forward. The passes are connecting. Both teams are defending relatively well. Obviously, both teams have a couple of little things to work on. I'm sure the coaches would have gone over that with them, but we're going to get set and get right back into the second period.
Yeah, shots were very even that period. The early goal by the Stampede, and then the late equalizer by Ivan Dalmatau of the Swarm. And believe it or not, both goals scored by 18-year-olds here tonight.
Yeah, Rusky Jones, he's an absolute weapon, up-and-coming weapon for New Zealand ice hockey, alongside Ivan Dalmatau, who I'm sure if you're watching at home has proven his worth here this season so far. But yeah, both teams just probably need to settle down a bit, look for some scoring chances, maybe not give the puck over a little bit too easy as they have done on a couple of occasions, but hey, that's hockey, you can't always do it perfectly.
You said it, a couple turnovers that the Swarm were actually lucky to avoid any further goals from the Stampede. And of course, your boy Seabass, Colin McIntosh, hit the crossbar on one of them. Yeah,
not the guy, as I said, not the guy you want to give the puck to in the high slot area. That guy will bury it 8 times out of 10 past the goalie. And I don't care who's in goal, he will get it past you. But yeah, Daniel Lee's having a good start to this game. He's definitely working his way into it. So is Canada as well, you know. Well, normally that first game of the weekend, Swarm do elect to start Canada more often, as he likes to say, he's a bit of an old man these days, so he can't play 2 games in a row, but he will suit up tomorrow, I'm sure.
Well, his backup, Grace Harrison, has actually had a phenomenal year herself, so look for her tomorrow night, as they both have that around 90% save percentage. Grace is actually just a touch higher at about 90.4. So 2 competitive athletes, I'm sure, have nothing to disagree with on those numbers. As we're underway here in the second, back to 5-on-5 hockey. And here's Simon with a point. There's a tip by Dalmatau, dangerously sails over the net. Now played up to Sandoy. His shot gets through. Steered away and held on to by the goaltender, Lee.
Yeah, I'll also say that the Swarm have shut down Brendan Walkham, the Stampede superstar, pretty well so far. And also the Stampede have also shut down the Swarm superstar, Peter Stepanek, very well as well. So
it hasn't been the flashy imports, but yet the young guns has been the storyline so far.
I'm all about the young guns.
So here's one of them now. Dalmatau takes a hit coming across the line, and it's Rusky Jones, the other goal scorer, who plays it up towards Schneider. But he's knocked off the puck by Thuler. Now a race for the puck here, as it's going to be Solo, the first man back. But a turnover right to Polozov. Tried to find Stepanek in the slot, gets through, and sends McDonald. Now back low to Polozov. Now Dalmatau. Looking for a centering feed, instead leaves it for Polozov. Then there's Stepanek. Oh, and a save made there on a quick one-timer. And now here's another chance, and that one sails wide from Dalmatau. As the Swarm having a couple opportunities here. Another one-timer by McDonald hits the skate of McCog, who puts his body on the line.
Yeah, I've seen him do that quite a few times over the years. Harrison McCarg definitely not afraid to get in front of a hard shot from the opposition team.
Finally out of the zone, as Schneider's able to use that long reach and able to get a couple men changed as they were pinned down in the own zone for a while. Now out of the box, here's McIntosh. He's looking for a centering feed towards Fleer, goes right past him. Now Freer out in front, had all day but could not put it home.
You're right, he had all day there, but seemed he just couldn't get a shot off there, Doc. Not sure what he was doing or couldn't control it nicely on the stick. Have to ask him after the game.
Just a little bit too tied up and twisted. As here's Walkham, and now Freer again. Another opportunity here, throws one towards the back door. McIntosh unable to get a stick on it.
Yeah, if he could have got something on there, that would have been dangerous.
Now Freer, another chance, still loose. And then finally, thrown away. We're going to get a bit of a whistle here and a penalty for a panic maneuver that possibly saved a goal in a cross check.
Yeah, looks like Sandoy came in there, as we just see on the replay. So close. Probably, yeah, good pass there. Not sure about the cross check, but...
Yeah, Sandoy's going to go 2 minutes on that cross check. It looked like McIntosh might have had an open net if he would have put that right on goal. Instead, he did that between the legs pass. That also would have been a goal if it were not for the cross check of Sandoy.
Yeah, I think that puck was just probably a little bit too far deep in the leg, so wouldn't have been able to really get a good shot off.
And here's a dangerous play, and off the iron again, it's Burns. Wide open look.
I'm sure he wants that one back. That should have been put home there, Doc.
And the power play off in a hurry here for the Stampede. Here's Solo, fakes a shot. Now back at the point, over towards McIntosh on the far side. Puts one through right on to Kennedy, but he'll hold on.
We might see a replay here, as Callum Burns looked like. So here, the pass across the crease, and Burns unable. Canada actually did pretty well to get over there, but you've got to probably put that one home.
So that's 2 crossbars for the Stampede so far to the 1 goal. So 1 apiece for now as the Stampede continue to work here on this power play, trying to get it out of the corner and finally do up to Solo. Now here's Wacom. Plays it down low. Miscommunication there. The puck is free for Mawson. And he's just going to try to burn some clock here as Freer loses the bucket, so he's going to have to go straight to the bench. And Fontaine now 2-on-2 the other way. Fontaine tries to walk through Solo, but not happening.
Now, Solo's a pretty beefy guy. I'm sure not many players would get right through him.
And now here's Wacom on the near wall. Wacom up to Solo. One-timer goes through. That actually hit Hurley in front. And it's played out of the zone. So another break there for the Swarm.
That's a full line change here for the Swarm as well.
Yeah, that was quite the long shift, almost coming up to 2 minutes. And the entirety of that power play as we have less than 10 seconds remaining on that cross-checking to Sandoy. Now down low. Here's Kemp as Sandoy's back out of the box. And it's McDonald up to Polozov. Trying to find Dalmatow streaking, but McCog's able to recover and get a stick on it. Now Dalmatow from behind the net. Fancy move there, was trying to get to Stepanek, but could not convert. Now McDonald at the line. He puts one through. Looking for a deflection there. Swarm unable to make anything happen. And now Polozov. Centering feed here for Stepanek, and he rips one just wide.
That was close. And actually just noticed, Doc, the Swarm actually had 5 skaters out there, all left-handed. You don't really see that much in the New Zealand Ice Hockey League.
Indeed. And here's that nice hit by Solo. But a shorthanded opportunity that was negated. Fontaine probably think twice about trying that one again, as Solo was solid.
He definitely will try. Again, will Jacko Fontaine, I'm sure of that.
So here's Rusky Jones. Plays it over towards Campbell, but that's swiped away from him by Simon. And here's Mawson into the zone. Tries to throw in towards the net and goes straight through Coyle. And then a centering feed here. Finds no one but Schneider. He'll try to chip it up towards Campbell. But again, taken away from him and thrown into the zone.
Yeah, Schneider looking a little bit rusty. Definitely not at his best. Probably why he is on the second or third line here for Stampede. But hey, he's that type of guy. Get a couple of games under his belt and he'll be back.
Yeah, just his first game of the year. Taking a bit of a back seat from some of his previous years as the dominant force in this lineup. As Sandoy will take it into the zone himself, going 1-on-5 here as all his linemen get a change and doing good work to keep it alive for Hopkinson.
Yeah, really good work there from Sandoy.
Now over towards Fontaine. Fontaine with a dipsy doodle, puts one through, but Freer is there to block it. Now here comes Schneider into the zone. Hopkinson pushes him directly into the ref, and Stripes got the worst of that one.
Yeah, looks like he's all right, though.
And now Kozak, centering feed towards Fontaine. Tuller back door to Hopkinson, but he's unable to pull the trigger. And now here come the other way. Watch out, it's Wacom. Over to McIntosh. McIntosh back towards Wacom, but a great recovery by Kozak to negate it.
Yeah, Kozak definitely saved the day there, Doc.
Now Freer finds McIntosh. McIntosh creates some space and puts it on, but Kennedy had to make the save. Now down low, looking for McIntosh again. He's got Thuler on his back. Now it's played down low towards Wacom, but McDonald steps in front of it. Now fighting for the puck is Thuler. Able to gain control, tries to play it to his winger, and it's finally tipped up towards Fontaine. Now Fontaine's going 1-on-2. Goes around the outside of True, puts it right through, but Lee makes the save.
Yeah, good run there from Jacko Fontaine. I kind of thought this period was maybe going to be a period where they just slow things down a bit, both teams, try to figure a few things out, but we're getting more clear-cut scoring opportunities right from the start of this period, Doc, and that's exactly what we want to see.
A lot of speed and talent on both sides, and the bodies are flying, especially for the Zebras out there themselves. Now there's Stepanek with a shot right on, and Lee again makes the save. Stepanek's got quite the release, but so far, most of his shots have been towards the center of that net. Hasn't been able to pick out a corner yet. Now Dalmatal played along the long end. It's only to Freer, but that goes right on goal, and Kennedy shakes his head off a little bit with a glove save there.
Yeah, that was a rocket from the point there from Mitchell Freer. And there's some absolute whiz on some of these shots happening here tonight. As we see Stepanek's one only to the chest of Daniel Lee. Needs to look for a corner of the pipe to score.
So face-off, won by the Stampede. There's Freer's shot from the point that's sticked aside. And now here's Dalmatal. Up to Polozov, tries to find Stepanek. Now he's into the zone. Tries to get around Solo, but a great recovery there by McCog to knock it away. And the Swarm are forced back into the neutral zone. And now here's Dalmatal, trying to make a move. Ooh, was looking for Polozov back door.
Was that Solo with the...
Great solo effort, you would say, to get a stick on that one.
Yeah, if he didn't make that play, that was, looks like it was destined to be back in the net.
And now here's Tuller into the zone. Had no help there. Instead, it's played here by Mitchell Freer. Trying to find Schneider, but Stepanek steps in front of that. He puts one on, but again, right into the chest of Lee.
Yeah, Stepanek was actually quite surprised that he was looking around where the puck had gone, and then he just found it on his stick, so why not rip one from there? Had Fontaine crashing as well, so...
So Stepanek getting a little bit more involved here in the second, but still held pointless on that score sheet. Nice play there by Lockie Freer to use his size. Able to get it up to McIntosh. Calmly takes it in the zone. Sharp angle shot right on, and Kennedy again there to make the save.
Yeah, good couple of moves there from Mr. Enigma Hockey himself, Seabass. He's actually got one of those sticks that looks like it's made out of wood, but I can assure you it is definitely carbon.
I would like to let you know that wood is also made out of carbon.
That is true.
So either way, you're going to be right.
I set myself up there, didn't I? Yeah, I definitely need to get one of those sticks. Definitely want to try one out.
So underway, still a goal apiece. Both teams looking to break something open. And so far, the Stampede have had the best opportunities, even hitting that iron, but not able to convert. So here's Simon, who played along the wall, looking for Kozak. The one touch up towards Hopkinson. Hopkinson looking for Fontaine, misses everyone, but no icing here. So Fontaine, the first one there. He'll battle with True. And now it's Kozak. Thuler fakes a one-timer, and then it's taken from him by McIntosh, and now watch out, it's here and Wacom on a 2-on-1. McIntosh all alone, he shoots, oh, and what a save by Kennedy!
He just seems to be getting better in between the posts here, Doc. Look at this from McIntosh. Might as well be selfish and take the shot, but then when you've got a guy in front of you flashing leather like that, maybe you just should pass.
That's just rude. With absolutely no regard is Kennedy for anyone's feelings out there. With an absolute dandy of a glove save. So it remains one apiece, and now here's Stepanek trying to take it into the zone, but he's held up by Freer, and the Swarm are offside.
That's
trying
right.
to storm into the zone, are they?
They were, but they were swarmed by the opposition.
So much happening here at Paradise Botany, the Hive. Plenty of action.
The coolest place in town.
It is the coolest place in town. There's a few honeycombs out there to collect. As Schneider was trying to find Rusky Jones. He got held up by Dalmatown, now doing some business in the far corner. We got 4 skaters trying to pry it free. And it's the Swarm who get it. He tried to play up towards Polozov, but he could not quite get the inertia going.
It could have been dangerous if he actually got that pass off nicely.
Now Tuller directs it to safety, and it's just played out of the zone, but this one's going all the way the length of the ice, and this will be an icing.
Yeah, the Swarm having a little bit of trouble breaking out of the zone here over the last 5 or so minutes. They need to just calm things down, get those passes going to the tape, because they're giving away a few too many turnovers around in that neutral zone. And when you do that against a quality team of the Stampede, it's not going to be a good result if you keep doing that.
So the Swarm leaving their top line out there, maybe trying to create a mismatch here with the Stampede, who have their third line currently out there. But with the depth of this team, they definitely have quality up and down that roster. And so here's Stepanek trying to get across the red, but that's knocked away from him. And here's Kemp for the Stampede, and he'll just play it into the zone. So the Swarm will now get that change. And played up, and here's a turnover. Now Kemp has it, throws one right on, and that deflects off Kennedy and into the netting.
And that's another poor turnover there, Doc, and that was extremely close to being a goal. They need to sort that out fast because they're going to get punished here for that soon.
Kemp with a sharp angle, had a tiny bit of room to work there, but Kennedy said no.
The NZIHL washing machine he's also known as.
The washing machine.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
I will in just a sec. Yeah, so when he came for an interview, I think last season, because he's played for, I think, 4 NZIHL teams, he calls himself the league's washing machine.
Washing machine. Well, at least it's clean.
That's right. Just like his flashy saves.
Oh, I'd say those are actually pretty filthy.
I would agree, actually.
He needs the washing machine. There's Mawson from a sharp angle trying to push it home. But Lee is again there, and now some bodies are tumbling a little bit as Marcus McDonald hit the deck. But the refs are there to break things up and settle things down.
Yeah, nothing too much there. Just lucky Frere, little push after the whistle. Nothing bad in my opinion, but good to see Johnson coming in trying to back up his teammate Marcus McDonald. He's a pretty tough little kid, so McDonald is.
Hardly a little kid at this point, Bryce.
No, he's playing with the big boys today, Doc.
Born in May of 2007. So can you do the math on that one?
16 and a half, 17. You're thinking.
That is the youngest person on the ice. But he has not shown it. Looking very much in the action at all times.
Did you see him at some scrimmage games, making grown men look foolish?
And now here comes Hopkinson for the Swarm. Hopkinson all alone, and a save made by Lee.
Yeah, huge save needed there as Hopkinson found himself all alone. Faked to go the backhand and came back onto the forehand, but Lee was right there to match his.
Pretty easy for us to chirp from the booth here, but I'd say just one too many moves.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a skillful player, Hopkinson. I've seen him do some flashy moves in the past, so.
There's Sandai looking backdoor for Polozov, but it's knocked away by Freer. Now to the near side. Here's Solo, who's ridden off the puck by Stepanek. Now up towards Sandoy. He throws one towards the net, but Solo's able to get a skate on that. And it's Hurley who plays it back low. Freer tries to play it up towards Rusky Jones. And he'll clear it the length of the ice, but this is coming on the net, forcing Canada to make a play on it. He's able to leave it to Sandoy. Sandoy wearing the captain's C on the sweater today. He'll bring it up the ice. And he'll play it towards the goaltender Lee, who's forced to hold on.
Yeah, good work. Goes coast to coast and gets his team a face-off in the attacking zone. So job done there as we see the replay on Hopkinson.
Just ran out of real estate.
He did. It's actually not as easy as some people at home might think, going one-on-one with the goalie.
Just go 5-hole, right?
Well, easier said than done though, Doc.
Well, I did just say it. Yeah, that was pretty easy.
As a fellow goalie yourself, where do you think your weak spot would be?
My weak spot? There's a big save there by Lee as Dalmaton was looking for his second.
Pretty much all Stampede, but they're definitely fighting back, getting some more scoring chances.
Shots are still in favor of the Stampede, but it is tight at 24-22 with plenty of opportunities either way. I would say, though, the Stampede have had their greater share of high-risk opportunities, but again, still 1-1 so far. Here's Sandoy once again going coast to coast. He's taken down.
It will be a penalty.
And the Swarm will see their first power play of the evening.
Yeah, it's going to be the superstar Brendan Walkham as well that's going to have to sit here. He's pointing at Sandoy for some reason. I'm not sure if he's got a bit of a point there.
Interesting, yeah. Walkham staring right at Sandoy, giving him a finger point. Could not read his lips on it, but
Sandoy's going to be sitting in the box too.
Said, "You're coming too." Curious on what this call would be.
Yeah, I don't know what Sandoy did there.
Was he perhaps trying to say that it was a bit of a dive from Sandoy? Because you can't have a dive and a trip. I know the NHL used to do that, but it has to be one or the other, right?
Yeah, for sure.
In any case, we will be 4-on-4 with a little bit of open ice here. And here's Fontaine, puts one right on, but Lee again makes the save.
I would say 4-on-4 hockey probably favors the Swarm just a little bit more for some reason.
I'm not so sure. I think both teams could probably take advantage of this open ice, but it's probably going to come down to puck possession to see who really can make things happen. So here's McDonald to retreat. He'll play it over towards Tueller. Plays it up towards Hopkinson. Now Hopkinson trying to find Fontaine, but his pass is behind him. And now here's Solo. Looking for Schneider. Schneider puts one in and he scores! Matthew Schneider, first goal of the season, and it's 2-1 Stampede.
Yeah, good goal there from Matt Schneider. Probably not the guy you thought who was going to get the second goal here for the Stampede tonight, but there it is. Just puts it just past the glove of Canada. It looked like it might have clipped the inside post. But nonetheless, Stampede are winning 2-1 at the moment.
So a massive goal there for the Stampede coming from Matthew Schneider, who Stampede fans probably enjoy seeing him get back on the score sheet as that shot goes over the glass and we'll get a whistle.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just exactly what Schneider needs, a goal on his belt on his first game back this season. That's definitely going to get him going for the next few games ahead of them.
So face off in the Swarm offensive zone. There's Mawson trying to keep it in on the sidewall. Puck is played right back to him. Has a bit of time, throws it towards the net, but Lee kicks that away. Now played back behind the net. Here's Burns. Stepanek on his back. He'll play it up towards McIntosh. Now McIntosh, the crafty veteran, able to get it into the zone. Still with possession of the puck.
Must have broke his first stick. He's using a different one out there.
And credit to Bryce. Always has his eye on a guy's stick. Cannot get anything past him. As we continue play. Up towards True at the line. And again, McIntosh will throw one right through, trying to find a tip from Freer. But Canada saw it all the way.
That was a good one, Doc. Good call there. So just 21 seconds remaining on the penalties for each side. Schneider's back out there. He's going to look for number 2 here for sure. He'll be going up against Hopkinson.
So here come the Swarm. It's Fontaine trying to get some speed through the neutral zone, but he's taken down. No call and play will continue. Now here's McCog who takes it into the zone. He's looking for Schneider. Schneider with a little bit more pep in his step. And then McCog absorbs a hit and continues play. Now looking for Solo. He wanted a one-timer. Pass was into his skates a bit. Instead gets a sharp angle shot that's steered away from Canada. Now Tueller goes up the wall. To Fontaine.
Losing his mitt again.
It's a slippery mitt, it appears. But he's got it back on the wrist. Plays it down low towards Hopkinson. Pass was behind him, and now Schneider controls. And he'll take it up towards the offensive zone. Now puts one right on, but Canada's there with the glove.
Yeah, it looks like Schneider is definitely improving a lot as this game goes on. Not sure how much training he was doing or if he was actually training with the team throughout the season. But definitely a guy you want to get hot before the last few rounds of the season.
The Swarm, of course, sitting in that first place spot, but have played far more games than the Stampede. And so in the loss column, where it really does matter, the Stampede are actually favoring with just one loss to the Swarm's 2 so far this season. course, a lot on the line this weekend. We should get a much clearer picture by the end of Sunday night. So Simon for the Swarm. He's got a little bit of room to work, so he'll skate it himself. Young defenseman across the blue, going coast to coast here. And now Simon towards the net, looking for a centering feed, finds Mawson, but Freer just able to get a stick on that and negate a great opportunity there for the Swarm. Now here's Mawson. It looked like he was skating towards the bench. Instead took a pass right on the tape. And now he'll come off the ice. Let's play it up towards McIntosh. Thuler on his back, able to chip it away. Play it up towards Polozov. Polozov walks around Walkham. Puck still loose before Dalmatow hops on it. Now Dalmatow, the strong move, plays over to Stepanek. Stepanek all alone. Oh, and a save by Lee. Great opportunity there from Stepanek, but Lee showed that he still has some of that side-to-side movement.
Absolutely, huge save that needed to be made there. Stepanek probably should have gone block aside, but like you said before, it's nice and easy to sit up here and tell them what they should have done. It all happens so fast down there on the ice as he tried to lift that above Lee's left shoulder.
Yeah, Lee was just in great position for that save, able to cut off the angle, forcing him to go short side, and ultimately able to steer it to safety. There's a wraparound opportunity from Dalmatow. Now a second chance, and again it's loose as Polozov tried to take a hack at it as well. Now back over to Polozov. He's got a little bit of room. Stepanek for a one-timer, still has control, puts it through, and once again Lee makes the save. The Swarm are buzzing here, trying to get back that goal they just gave up momentarily here as the seconds are winding down in the second. Now Dalmatow from behind the net. That's knocked away from him by True. Now a race for it towards Stepanek. Instead it's played down low towards Dalmatow. Now Dalmatow tried to find Simon, broken up by Walkham, and that will do it. So at the end of the second period, it is 2-1 in favor of the SkyCity Stampede.
Yeah, just like the first period, Doc, both teams are looking so good when they're in the attacking zone. They're cycling the puck well and holding on to it really well, so that when they're doing that, they're allowing themselves to get really good goal-scoring opportunities. So if any team wants to win this game, they definitely need to probably sharpen up a little bit on defense, but I love a good attacking game.
Well, we saw some attacks there from the SkyCity Stampede. Matthew Schneider, in his first game of the year, getting his first goal of the year. How do you think that's going to propel things here into the third?
Oh, it's going to be huge for his mental side of the game, you know, coming back, first game in, second period, getting your first goal of the season. So he's only going to get better from here, and we know exactly what he can be like. So yeah, it's a pretty scary thought if he gets to his best. So yeah, you know, they're going to keep improving, and I'm sure they're all happy for him, so they're going to try and live off that as well.
You said it, Bryce. So after 2 periods of play, we still have a 1-goal game heading into the third. Stick with us for the conclusion of this exciting matchup. Haramai, Hokimai, and welcome back to the Hive here in Paradise Botany between the Botany Swarm and the SkyCity Stampede. After 2 periods of play, we have ourselves a barn burner with a 1-goal game in that 2-1 advantage for the Stampede. Wow, Bryce, things are really heating up.
Oh, it's been a cracking game so far. Almost, it's got the looks of game of the season so far. Score could be 5-all. But both goaltenders are absolutely standing on their heads out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They are looking red hot. So the Swarm are only down by 1 goal. Shots are even at 27 each.
Seen a lot of leather being flashed by Canada for the Swarm. And of course, Daniel Lee, in his first action in years here in the NZIHL, has stood up tall to the challenge. Looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Absolutely not. So has Matt Canada. He's looked really good here tonight. I'm sure he'll be quite sore after tonight's game, but he's still got a job at hand to do here tonight.
Still plenty of time left in this one, as the Swarm trying to get something going here with Polozov. Tries to put it on a sharp angle. Now here's Stepanek over towards Dalmatau, who directs it just wide.
Yeah, great pass there by Stepanek, actually knowing that Dalmatau was actually there, as he wasn't looking that way.
Dalmatau got a stick on it, but not quite enough to direct it on goal. So we remain a 2-1 contest. And here's Solo, the import defender for the Stampede. Churns it over, forcing Lee to once again make a save.
Yeah, uncharacteristic there from Solo, handing the puck over to a Swarm forward. He's had a pretty good game here tonight, but he's haven't had a better season all round, so definitely one of their top guys on that lineup.
So this is played out to center ice by Lockie Freer. Freer doing some work here to put it loose. Tried to go blocker side, but could not corral that bouncing puck. And here's Fontaine looking for Kozak at center ice. Now Kozak into the zone. Tries to put one towards Lee. Now Tuller from a sharp angle. Unable to get it on goal. And then Lee will just freeze it up against the netting there and get the whistle.
Yeah, Kozak's had a little bit of a quiet game here tonight, but he's that type of guy that will fight to the bitter end no matter what. Even if they are up by 5 or down by 5, he's definitely a guy who gives it a little.
So it'll be Janssen to take the draw against McIntosh. And it's won by the Stampede, but McDonald, the 16-year-old, making something happen with some fresh legs out there. And here's Tuller. He fans on it. Instead, it's kicked over to the near side, and McDonald to be the first one there. He takes a big hit from McIntosh, but able to get it to Janssen, who throws one towards the net, but that deflects off the skates of Burns and into the netting.
Yeah, you can see Seabass finishing off his hits there. They've got to be made. This is how you keep teams down when they are down by a goal. You make sure you finish off those checks and make them think about it twice if they're going to try attack on you.
And here's Sandoy being chased by Skipper. Have to leave it for Marcus McDonald. And then back to Sandoy looking cross ice. Knocked down by Kemp. He'll play it up towards Hurley. That's in front of him, and Simon will gain control. Now to the far wall, it's Janssen trying to get a stick on it. And Simon again will play it up the wall. And once again, the Stampede will gain possession. So Kemp trying to get some momentum around the net. Slingshots around, but that one goes into the audience here as Sandoy's shot was deflected, so we'll get a whistle and a face-off in the neutral zone.
Yeah, Kemp looking pretty good at the start of this third period, trying to get involved, and so is Skipper, throwing hits as well there on Sandoy. Good to see the big guys going at it, you know, big collisions.
You love to see the big guys going at it, Bryce. So once again, we are underway. So here's Polozov. Centering feed for it's Tuller. His shot goes through the legs. Now Dalmachaw tries to steer one towards the net. Instead, it's played out here to center ice. The Swarm are offside, so they'll be forced to come back and touch up at the blue. And here's Rusky Jones looking for Schneider. But Tuller steps in front of them. Now back to McDonald. McDonald, the import defenseman for the Swarm. He'll skate it up the ice, looking for Stepanek, but Freer cuts that off. And then Walkup out of the bench. There's a pass intercepted by Polozov. He'll leave it for Stepanek. Now Stepanek puts one through, but that's broken up nicely by Solo.
Yeah, it looks like both those guys are a little bit sore. I know Solo definitely blocked the shot. Not sure what happened to Stepanek. Not a good sign.
Yeah, two import high-impact players collide, so not what you would like to see for either team.
See here, Stepanek gets the shot off. Yeah, it's looks like Stepanek maybe lost his footing. Not entirely sure, but he's a tough guy. He's going to get back up and continue this ice hockey game.
So both players appear to be all right, and the result is a face-off to the right of Lee in the Stampede defensive zone. True behind his own net. Play it up towards Walkup. Walkup with some good speed. Brings it into the zone. But that's broken up by the Swarm, and now Kozak will chase it. Centering feed was looking for Hopkinson, but that's deflected by Freer. And back out to center ice. Now Sandoy. Cross ice finds Simon. Simon with some speed for himself. The defender here looking for a centering feed. Gets it through, but misses everyone, and now here come the Stampede the other way. It's Walkup trying to find Freer. Good back check by Simon. Ties up Freer to break that one up. And we're going to get a whistle as the net was dislodged.
Yeah, lucky Freer just unable to get something on there. Good pressure on from the back check, which made him crash into the net.
So you can see Simon actually leading the charge on that rush, was back just in time to break that up as Freer goes crashing into the goal.
And applying just the right amount of pressure as well there, Doc. Not looking for an interference, just playing the body, holding his ground.
Just caressed his man right into the goal. Softly enough, where the referees decided that the faceoff should be outside the zone, meaning that they deemed he was not pushed into the goal mouth by the defender.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Done a good job tonight, have the referees, I think.
It is the toughest job out there. And you definitely do not make any friends from either side. So credit to the referees. So play underway here in the third. Stampede still have that 1-goal lead, and an offside as the puck just bounces out momentarily and touched by Mawson of the Swarm. So we get that whistle and an upcoming face-off outside the blue.
So we'll see Matt Schneider get back out there alongside Harrison McCarg and also Axel Rusky Jones.
So here's Mitchell Freer trying to play it up the wall. Sandoy takes a hack at that and puts it back into the zone. And it's played up towards Dalmatal. Now left for Polozov. Polozov avoids a hit from McCarg, but Schneider's on his back and scrapes it away. And here's Solo. He'll play it up the wall. Hits the skate of the ref and pops out towards Rusky Jones, but it's steered just as safely. Now into the zone, here's Solo. He puts one right on, but a save made by Kennedy.
He got a lot on that shot too, did Solo. Looks like a lumberjack out there, he does at times. So we get a change in the defensive pair for the Stampede. Burns and Cameron True out there.
Face-off won by Schneider, but with too much mustard on it, sends it all the way back into his own zone, where the Stampede will have to start things over. And now True looking up ice. Able to find the stick of McCog, but only for a moment as the Swarm gain control. Now Stepanek into the zone. He's looking towards the net, throws one through. That might have scraped off the outside of the iron.
Yeah, sounded like it.
With a quick release from his part. And now here's Polozov off of turnovers, trying for a wraparound. And now he goes down, and we're going to have a whistle as he is down on the ice.
He's still down there too. He's not normally a guy who would stay down if he's not hurt.
And it looks like he took a hit from Schneider, possibly in that head region. There is a bit of a height differential between those two skaters, and it might have got a bit of an elbow.
Yeah, it looks like it was an elbow to the head. Tough angle to probably see it clearly, but
did not look overtly intentional, as Schneider was just trying to put a body on him, but unfortunately there was contact directly to Polozov, and he will have to leave the ice.
And the head coach, also their medical guy, is Colin Vanderven, who is actually almost a qualified chiropractor. So if anything was to go wrong structurally with the nervous system, he's your guy to get out there and deal to things.
So we will check on Polozov.
He'll be back
to see if he will return. A top line and ice black player for the Swarm, and a potent offensive threat. Great with the puck control. Somebody the Swarm will want to see out there. And here is going to be another opportunity, and a save off the mask from Lee, but a slashing penalty has been called on the Stampede.
Yeah, Hawkinson just getting a shot off there too, just in the high slot there. Unable to put it home though. But great work by Jacko Fontaine. He's worked hard all night. So Polozov's just getting a bit of an ice pack on the back of the neck. So I would say we will see him return. Maybe not for a couple of shifts though.
So we have a second power play of the evening for the Swarm. And boy, do they need something here to try to close that gap with just 13 and 15 remaining in this contest.
It's been a pretty clean game here so far, Doc. Most teams not giving away too many penalties. 3 for the Swarm and 2 for the Stampede.
Here's Fontaine going coast to coast, showing off the wheels, forcing Lee to make a blocker save.
And that's what this guy can do. You give this guy some time and space and he'll absolutely burn you down the left here. Try to put it above the blocker. Oh, just missed his target. There was a little bit of a gap there as well.
So good opportunity for the Swarm. Here's Polozov back out on the ice, so that's good to see if you're a Swarm fan. Trying to do some work in the corner, and Solo is able to softly clear with that backhanded. Over to Polozov. Now looking for Dalmatau in the front of the ice. And it's Sandoy. Back to Polozov. Now Polozov with a little bit of space. Goes wide to Kozak. Kozak shoots, he scores! Andre Kozak scores a power play for the Swarm, and it is 2 apiece.
Massive goal there for the Botany Swarm. And the guy who probably needed to get a goal tonight, Andre Kozak. He's had a bit of a tough game, but like I said before, he's a guy who just will not give up whatsoever, and he gets rewarded for his efforts. Great pass over there from Polozov as well, and just picks his pocket, makes the drink bottle shimmy a bit too, and he takes a wall ride.
So a badly needed tally from the Swarm knots this one up, and we have got ourselves a game. Now here's Janssen to turn over the blue line. Looking down low towards McDonald, but a great recovery there by Burns to tie him up. And now here come the Stampede.
Great defensive play there from Burns. He's had a solid game.
There's a one-timer there for Wacom, but Remy Sandoy with a nice block shot. Paid for that one a bit. Maybe good one off the wrist. Now here's McIntosh trying to move towards the net.
Yeah, Seabass has changed his stick again.
And there's Simon. Simon throws one right in, forcing Lee to steer it away. As the defender has been good in transition for the Swarm. Playing well.
Yeah, that's something the Swarm defensemen have done really well all season there. They go coast to coast, but they make sure they get back and back check like no tomorrow.
So here's Fontaine. Runs into Freer but keeps going. And Schneider's the first one back. Play it over towards Solo. Now Solo with some speed trying to go coast to coast. Runs into McDonald on a hit. And then played over towards Tuller. Now Kozak trying to find Hopkinson with a nice play. Now Hopkinson's got a step. Hopkinson tries to put one in, but Freer was able to recover. And we'll get a whistle as Lee is able to scoop it up.
Yeah, good work from Hopkinson to actually control that puck. As we see here, the hit from Ryan McDonald. Good hip check there on the far side. Might have to see the replay of Hopkinson momentarily.
Both teams showing that speed. You can't give them much space or they will take advantage. And it's a game of centimeters.
It's going to go right down to the wire here tonight, Doc. I can guarantee you that.
So here's Simon. Doesn't like what he sees, so he'll try it again. Play it over towards Polozov. He's unable to corral it, so Freer keeps it at the line. And so Polozov will try again. Fans on it momentarily, but that was enough to get past McCog. And now he'll take it to the far side. Here's Polozov, backhander, puts it on, rebound dangerously open for Dalmatau. But again, unable to convert.
It's been all Swarm the last 5 minutes here, Doc. They're really looking good.
Now here's Dalmatau, takes a hit from Skipper out of the bench. And some fresh legs out here for the Stampede. Skipper going cross ice. Trying to find Kemp. And now played up over the glass into the netting. So once again, we're going to get a whistle. And it looks like it will stay inside the zone.
So tomorrow night, I do think Dylan Devlin's suspension will be finished as he has traveled up with the team. So we might see the Flying Blondie on the ice tomorrow.
Devlin, as well as Mitchell Freer, actually are averaging over 6 penalty minutes a game. So something they clearly would want to work on and have seen in their favor with only 2 power play opportunities for the Swarm in this contest. So here's Janssen, throws one on, stick save made by Lee, but he kicks that up over the glass, so once again, we will get a whistle.
Yeah, Stampede definitely finishing every single check at the moment. As they are looking to strike a little bit of fear into the Swarm players when they do have the puck, but a lot of them have been kind of targeted all season, and it does not scare them at all.
Here's Thuler, tries to keep it in, but a nice play by Freer to bat that out of the air, and here come the Stampede. Freer puts one on, but that hits the shin pad of McDonald. And now Marcus McDonald will pick it up, looking for Janssen. And he runs into Burns, and now played up towards Mawson. Mawson one-on-one with True, tries to go through him, but True was having none of that. And now he's going long ice, but we have a whistle as the net is knocked loose.
Yeah, Mawson just losing his footing there, crashing into Danny Lee. And unfortunately the net came off. Looks like Wacom was over the other side of the rink, and it looks like he was in pretty damn good position as well. So maybe a lucky break there for the Swarm, but rules are rules when the net's off.
Bit of gamesmanship perhaps there by Mawson, because otherwise Wacom was having a near breakaway on the other end. You don't often hear that whistle for a net loose on the other side during a breakaway opportunity, but here we are. Tight game here in the third as Freer will put one in. just wide of the goal mouth, where Wacom will go to chase. Plays it over to the near side, no one there, so it's Sandoy to collect, and he'll skate it himself. Now Sandoy will play it in, applying the first man in forecheck, puts a body against his man, and then he goes down with a stick in his armpit. Remember, Sandoy with that embellishment call earlier, maybe trying to make something happen again here. And then here's Fontaine looking back door, no one's there, so it's Kozak with control.
It's all Swarm at the moment. Stampede have only had one shot this period, Doc.
There's an attempt by Simon, unable to get through. And here comes McIntosh. Now McIntosh pressured behind from Kozak. And now played up to center ice at Freer. Mitchell Freer throws it back in. Canada's there to stop it. Now McDonald with a Rusky Jones down his neck will have to steer it over towards Polozov. And Polozov tries to skate away from Schneider, and he'll just slow things down.
Oh,
dangerous move around Rusky Jones, but still has control of the puck.
yeah, Polozov's actually looked pretty good tonight, I must admit. He's actually looked really good all season. You can see he's really happy about his hockey at the moment, and he's really enjoying it.
Good to see him back out there after taking that nasty hit around the goal mouth from Schneider. So just 7:37 remaining and a 2-2 game between these tightly contested teams.
You reckon we're getting free hockey tonight?
Well, for us, every night is free hockey. But who knows what we'll see. There's a shot right on from Polozov as he took a big hit from Burns, and Lee was forced to make the save. So a Swarm once again adding to their shot tally in this period, looking the fresher team. And then there's a one-timer opportunity from Dalmatal, gets his own rebound, but once again, Lee makes the save.
Yeah, if that rebound was a little bit more to the left-hand side of Dalmatal, he would have banged that one in, I reckon. As we see that shot from Polozov, receives a hit in the process, and that, the backhand pass here from Stepanek just behind Dalmatal. They've really linked up well this season.
So 2-2, and the high-scoring imports on either side, that's Wacom and Stepanek, are still looking to get on that score sheet. Now here comes the other way. It's Kemp, puts one right on, but a sliding save made by Canada as he pokes it away. Now here's Freer at the line. Takes a hit from the smaller Janssen, and then played over towards Simon.
Yeah, Jansson's actually put a few guys down here tonight.
And now here's Kemp trying to make a move towards the net. Can't get around Sandoy. And Simon will play it up towards Mawson. Mawson just tries to chip it up as he had two Stampede players on him. And it's over to the near corner. Marcus McDonald. He'll play it back to Sandoy, and now up to Mawson. Now here's an opportunity for the Swarm as Mawson's into the zone. Mawson puts one through, but that's knocked away by Solo.
Yeah, Solo just stepping up at the right time there to get at least a stick on the shot there from Mawson. So this is when the Stampede were going the other way. Shot on, but right into the chest of Canada, and made the right decision to come out and try flick that one away from danger.
Good aggressive goalkeeping there by Canada. And again, great puck or side-to-side movement to get in front of that puck. Now there's an attempt that misses everything by Tueller. He's going to have to put that club away as that sailed clear over everything.
Yeah, I think he had the pitching wedge out there, Doc. That's normally made from about 120 out.
For some reason, that is face-off is staying in the zone. Perhaps it was deflected by something. So we are underway here. Here's Lockie. Freer gets sealed off. No call there as he was taken down. But good hustle nonetheless. Now here's Kozak, the latest goal scorer. Fakes a shot. Now trying for a centering feed here towards Fontaine. A shot. Oh, and what a save by Lee. Now here come the Stampede the other way. McIntosh was looking for Wacom and missed everything. Bit of confusion, but the puck still finds McIntosh's stick. Now True with a shot right on, but that's stopped by Canada. Now here's McDonald. The defenseman finds some room, so once again he'll skate it up. Trying to go 1-on-2 here, but it runs right into True, and Burns will collect. Looking for Wacom. Now Wacom going 1-on-1 with Simon. Trying to use his body. Wraparound attempt, but a skate save made by Canada.
He was definitely ready for that one, was Canada, for sure.
Now Polozov and Rusky Jones doing battle. And a nice play here by Solo. Now Solo brings it into the zone. And it looks like we're going to get a delayed call and a holding here on Simon, who got a little too frisky with the hands.
That's right, Doc. He definitely did. So he's going to be in the naughty corner for a couple of minutes.
And this is a massive power play opportunity, a 2-minute man advantage with 4:46 remaining in this game.
Yeah, you bet. It's been all Swarm for the last 10 minutes. Stampede only getting a few looks in at a scoring chance. But we'll take it back to Solo. He steps up at the right time. Like, he makes some pretty 50-50 calls to step up, but he's coming away with most of them. He's here now.
And here's Wacom. Here's shot right on. Rebound is swallowed up by Canada. So we are 7 seconds into the power play and already 2 shots on goal for the Stampede, which doubles their output of this period.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably going to be their game plan for this power play, and why not just get lots of shots off, especially when you got Solo at the point.
And of course the import Wacom, who has possession now, looking back door, intercepted by Janssen, but he can't clear, so now it's McIntosh. Now Solo, his shot goes through, misses a redirect, and a great save by Canada on that rebound opportunity. Now Solo again, over to Wacom. Wacom puts one through, that's deflected and over to the near corner. A lot of action happening here for the Stampede, putting that pressure on. Now up to Wacom, back to Solo. Now McIntosh. McIntosh looking through, puts one right into the gut of Sandoy, and he is feeling it after that shot. Now again Sandoy gets in the way, and he's going straight to the bench as the Swarm are a bit gassed after this penalty kill. Now Lee out to make a pass. And here comes Wacom into the zone. Wacom with plenty of room comes through, but hits the stick of McDonald, and a much needed whistle for the Swarm.
Absolutely, and that one goes into the roof cavity there. Doesn't look like it came out either. I'm sure that there'll be about the 131st puck stuck up there. But hey, Stampede looking really good on this power play so far, getting a lot of scoring opportunities. The Swarm just need to hold off for another 48 seconds, and then who knows what's going to happen from there.
Schneider to take the draw has won the last 2, able to win the 3rd in a row. So key face-off there for the Stampede. Here's Lockie Freer with it. Second unit out for the Stampede. Over to Harrison McCog. Now a one-timer here by Mitchell. Freer misses everything. Great play by Canada to misdirect that away from danger, and he is able to recover. Now a one-timer again. This one's deflected by Fontaine. Goes right to Kemp. Kemp looking for Freer. Now back up top to Lockie Freer. He puts one through, looking for a backdoor one-timer to McCog, but that goes back into neutral ice. And now here's a chance for the Swarm. Fontaine, shorthanded breakaway, and he misses. I think Lee got a piece of that with the glove.
Oh, wow, what a golden opportunity there for the Swarm, and I'm sure that would have made the Queenstown Stampede team pretty angry if that went in. Nah, he didn't get anything on there. He just absolutely lifted it.
I think Lee just got a piece of that with the glove, putting that into the netting. But what a golden opportunity for the Swarm, short-handed. So just 4 seconds remaining on that penalty to Simon. And we just like that, we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Buckle up. It is tied at 2 with less than 3 minutes to play.
This is what we live for, Doc.
This is exactly why we are here, folks. Two teams on top of the table battling it out for that top position. And of course, at the end of the year, the first round bye in the playoffs with the chance to host a home final at their rink. It does not get bigger than this in the regular season in the NZIHL. Now here's McIntosh. Looking backdoor shot to goal. It's Wacom, and the Stampede take the late lead.
Yeah, Wacom, great shot there. Got so much power on that too. That's a pro goal right there. Had to bend down a little bit for it and absolutely roofed it past Canada. A great goal there for the SkyCity Stampede.
What a fantastic play, and what a find by McIntosh to able to get it right to the tape of Wacom, and he made no mistake with that.
He's good, and he's shown it with his stats this season. The guy can play. But the Swarm definitely not done here.
Absolutely not. They have outshot the Stampede in this period. And all game long, they have had to crawl back from these 1-goal deficits. Let's see if they can do it again with less than 2 minutes remaining in this contest.
And number 31, Max Jones. Time of the goal, 17 minutes, 55 seconds.
So here's a turnover as Max McCog will take it. And he'll just play it into the zone as the Stampede here are happy enough to just throw seconds off the clock. And it's played into the zone and out by Solo right to McIntosh. So 2-on-2 here for McIntosh and Wacom. McIntosh still with possession, looking for Wacom again backdoor. Great opportunity, but instead it's taken by Simon. Now the defenseman skating it up the ice. Luke Simon on the backhand. He'll slow up looking for help, and he'll play it down low towards Stepanek. Now Stepanek behind the goal. Tries to play it up top towards Sandoy, but instead that's taken away, and an icing here as an open goal, and Canada heads to the bench. So
timeout.
A timeout will be called as the Swarm want to think about this with just 44 seconds remaining and a face-off upcoming in the offensive zone. So big shout out to a few of the sponsors here for the Botany Swarm this season, including a delicious Burger King.
Definitely love a bit of BK.
Yeah, if you want something after the game, definitely head to Burger King.
Yep. Also Noria and Print Plus and everyone's favorite electronic music station in New Zealand, George FM. You listen to a bit of George, Joel?
Yeah, on my way over here actually.
Yeah. What was playing? Drum and bass?
They were playing a few beats. I was getting amped up for this big contest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beats working.
It does beats working.
So we're going 6-on-5.
And we've got Grace Harrison's dad starting the chant here for the Swarm faithful.
And we are underway. Here's Polozov trying to leave it right out front for Dalmatau, but that's deflected to the near corner. Now Sandoy at the point. Tries to put one through, but that's blocked by McIntosh. And here comes Wacom out to center ice, but it's Stepanek. So less than 30 seconds remain here in this contest. It's McDonald. He'll skate it into the zone and go to chase himself. Now in the far corner, needs some help, and it's Polozov. So again, up to Kozak in the near wall. Tried to chip out and unable to do so as Sandoy steps up. And now here's Kozak. Loses control momentarily. Finally played up, and that's going the length of the ice, but it does not matter. The clock runs out, and the SkyCity Stampede walk away with a tight victory, 3-2 over the Swarm.
Yeah, that was an extremely hard-earned win there for the Stampede. I'm sure they know things are going to be different come the end of the season, but hey, the Swarm really dug in deep to try and get a goal back here late, Joel. Just couldn't get it over the line.
Just ran out of time. But credit to the Stampede in a fantastic game and able to get that extra late goal when they needed it.
Yeah, and they didn't get the goal on that power play where they looked really good. So the Swarm actually survived that and then went the other way and almost put it in, but then Walkham with that backdoor one-time shot that got absolutely roofed past Canada. That's the difference here tonight.
And finally, the Stampede got that production from their import that they were looking for, and that is what sealed the deal.
Absolutely, but hey, the Swarm are going to regroup and come back tomorrow fighting like they did here tonight. There wasn't much to separate the teams here tonight. Obviously only one goal, but it could have gone either way.
This has got to be the two best teams in the league just by watching this tonight. This very tight contest, and deservedly both at the top of the table. Of course, massive implications for this victory of the Stampede.
Yeah, well, hey, it's another trip down to Queenstown then, so I'm all for it. It would be nice for the Swarm to win down there. They obviously know that, but there's nothing like home ice advantage for sure. And the Queenstown team are extremely hard to beat down there. So, hey, still got a game tomorrow to even up this series, so should be a good one.
Still plenty of ice hockey left to play here in the NZIHL, and plenty of ice hockey left here in Botany. So we have a game tomorrow at the same time, same place, same channel, where we get to see these same two teams battle it out, again, fighting for that first place position.
Absolutely, and it's been an extremely good game here tonight, Joel. I wish we got some more free hockey. It went overtime, but hey, one team had to win at the end, and the Stampede just got the job done, so congrats to them. But Swarm will be back tomorrow.
The Swarm will be back. We hope you will be back, as well as plenty of hockey coming for you tomorrow night. I've been Joel Rindelab alongside Bryce Rouse.
That's the one.
That is the one. He is the one. He will be joining you again tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and catch us action NZIHL coming your way tomorrow night.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.